All right, everyone. So, new day, new project, or projects. On the old 92 Dodge behind me, we have a coolant temp sensor that's not working. Normally I wouldn't be too concerned about recording this because it's just a thread-in sensor. But on this truck, being it's a diesel, every parts store seems to think that this has a 2-wire sensor for all the years of the first gen Cummins. 89 to 92, 93. They seem to think it has a 2-wire small sensor, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, all that. So we had to do some deep dive to figure out what we actually need. Ours is a single wire, so it's got 1 pin in the connector, small connector, large body, right? So the parts stores, when you go and try to order them, it's a small body sensor as well. So the sensor is barely bigger than the connector, and it has 2 pins. I mean, maybe you could put a bushing in it, and I don't know. But it's not the correct one. So after all kinds of deep diving, we actually found what we need, and we'll link it because we got it off of Amazon, and it's a standard part, the brand standard, so you know, they've been around. We're gonna put this in today. I'll show you where it goes. It's gonna be hard to see, but you can at least get an idea. So, we got the old Cummins in here. It is all the way at the very back on the side. We'll get up in here a little bit. Yep. Super comfortable. Okay, I don't know, it's kind of still dirty, but you can, I'll put my finger on it. So I'm touching the sensor right now. The tip is broke off, but it's straight underneath this valve cover. Boom, right there. That's what we got to change out, because that's what's going to control the gauge, make the sensor work. This road trip, I'd like to have coolant temp. It did work for most of its life, so this thing has never ran hot at all, even dead hot summer, humid. But I still would like to have coolant temp sensor. It'll help me keep tabs. This thing's old, got a lot of miles on her. You know, antifreeze. You could spring a leak at any given time. Having a gauge, I watch gauges quite often. I drive for a living, so I pay pretty close attention to all my gauges. Having that gauge working will also help me mentally, but I'll be able to tell and probably catch a problem before it goes catastrophic. So I'm gonna get that gauge working, and then we'll see what other little projects I jump onto today. This is the last weekend before the start of 3 relatively big road trips for this old truck. I got to go through and make sure everything is good to go. All right, another thing I've done too, I jacked the back end up quite a ways to get the engine. That's gonna be hard to tell, but I got the engine actually leaning forwards a little bit. My ultimate idea and goal to that is to not dump antifreeze out of the back of the engine. Because of where the sensor is located, I am not going to be able to be very quick at pulling the old one out and getting the new one in the hole. The new one also comes already pasted up, so it's already got sealant on it. So I'm not going to put Teflon tape on it. I thought about it over that, but okay, I still am. I talked myself into it. I'm still going to put Teflon tape on it. All right. Start low, thread yourself up. Now I can't say that this is completely necessary, being that I already had that sealant on it, but whenever I use thread tape, I never have a leak. That's the goal. I'm tired of leaks. The old Cummins, they leak good enough anyway, so whatever you can do to not create a leak is a good thing. And with the way I threaded it, it doesn't unwind as I tighten it into the hole. So, little tip on that. Okay. Well, good and tight. Yeah. Dang. Ooh. Okay. Can I get in my hand now? Yes. Ooh, that's gonna be a nasty mess. Yep. Let's see here. It's gonna be a bad leaker. Why, yes it is. I don't know if you guys heard that. Alright. I'm not able to do this. She made that much of a mess. Yeah. Get up in that hole, baby. Okay. Well then. I need to find the right socket. So it's 1 1/16 for the sensor. Shallow just works, but I'm afraid I'm gonna break my connector. So now the hunt is on. Where is my 1 1/16 deep socket? All right, $10 later. There you go. Got ourselves a deep socket. Don't jack yourself in the face. Come on, just pull straight.
I am it. Oh, there we go.
All right.
I got it.
And at $10, I got a socket and somebody that wants to help. How weird.
I'm bored.
All right, let's get it set back up and I'll show you where you got to get.
We were mapping, you didn't click the record button.
No, but anyways, watch out where your feet are, because
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to sit like that. You're gonna have to be kneeled over. You're gonna have to kneel on the battery and kneel way over, because the sensor is right here. See that new shiny one there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to be situated without pushing on the wires. Everything's cool, temp-wise, so.
Well, 12 valve weighs more than I do.
Yeah, you would be correct.
I weigh 80. Not 100.
Oh! So, now we want to. So you're gonna have to bring it in over here, not behind that. Yep. Okay. Hold on. You're getting on the wrong side of the wires. Now, let me see it. I'm gonna get it on here so you don't bust that plastic. Let's see here. Yeah, the extension's gonna make it too long now. So I'll take the extension off. Go just to the socket. That way it's not too long, it'll fit. Just gently push the wires out of the way. Be careful getting this on so we don't snap that plastic. Okay, it is on. It's gonna be fun, just so you know. You don't have any clicking hardly. I might be able to get the extension on. It looks like I could, it'd make it easier. Hand me that extension. I'm gonna try putting it on what's in here. And we shall see. Because you'd have more room to turn. Oh, maybe. All right, yeah, that'll help. All right, so you want to keep the socket slid tight to the engine.
Okay.
Because if it slides off, it'll go at an angle and you could bust that plastic. So I'm gonna get out of the way now. This is gonna lay down, it'll be all right. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna get out of the way. You're not gonna be able to do it from over there. This thing actually has to tighten some. So yeah. Yep, the socket's still tight to the engine, it looks like. Don't get on that plastic, that's old plastic.
Yeah, that's a...
That old fan shroud. Some brittle stuff. But that should, because you're right-handed, right? Yep.
Yeah.
And then like I was saying, you want to make sure you keep the socket slid all the way up to the engine. And then it's going to keep pulling up, and that's what's going to tighten it.
Yep.
You just got to take your time and make sure you don't catch any wires or break anything else.
Yeah, otherwise I'll be a bad day.
Yep, because all this stuff is
Old.
I mean, it's relatively old. It's had a lot of heat, so a lot of plastics are kind of brittle. So you gotta kind of be careful, take your time. Like this is a vacuum hose that you're hitting here.
Yeah.
Should be fine, but this one is still pliable. There is some vacuum hose like this where it's plastic,
And then
and if you bump it, it'll break.
yeah. And
That was really common in the 80s and 90s, up to probably like 96 or something like that. They use like this plastic vacuum hose and it always get brittle.
from the heat changes and
Yep, from the
everything.
engine running and getting hot and then cold, hot and cold.
Over.
Everything in the engine bay gets hot and cold too.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful with plastics. And also smacking wires around a bunch. You can pull stuff apart.
Yeah. Didn't Mom mess something up in your car?
I don't
In
know.
the engine bay?
I don't know. We've had so many and done so many things at this point.
Well, I think that's as tight as I can get it.
Okay. Well. Oh yeah, no, it's gotta go more than that. All right, let me add it. And the other thing too is you gotta be careful with this too, because you can actually bust these. This one's pretty robust. Like the sensor housing's pretty big and stuff, the body of it. But we're using a 1/2-inch drive, so you get a lot of leverage, you know. So it would be kind of easy to over tighten and bust it. And that would be bad. Okay. Pull this off carefully. Wow, even the lock tab is facing up. That's kind of awkward. It's convenient though for down the road. Okay. Now I tucked the wire down when I pulled that connector apart so that I could get to it easily. And there it is. The only kicker is I don't know what side the wire is inside the sensor. So we're gonna just see. That does not feel very secure actually. But it's on. Okay. Well, that's that. So, all right. The sensor is now replaced and plugged in directly below the wiper motor, the large body sensor. So, that is the right sensor for Cummins. I don't know what the parts stores are selling. It's tiny. The connector wasn't even the same. So, and it wasn't just one of them. And it's the whole span of the years. I tried temp switches, temp sensor, all that, right? Wasn't working out. Couldn't track it down. Did a lot of digging. Managed to find an old number from way back in the day. Crossed it over. Found a sensor. The only thing left to do is to verify its functionality down the road. That'll be way later in the day. I still got a lot of other stuff to do, but I am gonna aim the headlights tonight. So that'll be a video for y'all to check out, because a lot of your old trucks and old rigs, your headlights just suck, and they don't have to. Now, they're not gonna be new HID, LED, good bright stuff, but with an adjustment, your standard halogen bulbs won't be horrible. They won't be great, but they won't be horrible. So I need to do that adjustment as well. Then, fun fact, we were digging on the internet some. Supposedly the old Dodge here, they only offered 120 amp alternators. That's what I'm seeing online. So if that really is a 120 amp alternator, I'm not too afraid to run one of our EcoFlow alternator chargers into the truck to charge our power station while going down the road. I don't know, we'll see. We have a few things that we have to do, and Ange actually has to do some stuff for work on Friday. So we're gonna have to use a fair amount of power while either on the road, or if I get us there Thursday while at the event. So power is needed. We'll see what I come up with for that.